I email my dentist twice a day. At it again. I do a lot of illegal crap, but littering is where I draw the line. Yeah, there's the axis of legality, and then you have another axis on the same graph of being a jerk. Baby formula is 19 pounds. And that's not a lot of formula. Like, I don't know if that's the powder or the liquids. This stuff comes in like a bunch of different variants, and some of it is just like appallingly sad. If I see a mother stealing formula, I'm gonna create a good distraction. Yeah, even out here in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, it's in a glass case now. Like, it's just, you have to go get an associate. This lady at Jamba Juice just cut me in line, and the worker saw us, so when it was my time to order, he goes, "Congrats, you were the 18th customer today. You get a free drink of choice." Oh my fracking god, her face. Good job, employee. That's the only way to deal with this kind of crap. Make them really regret like the entire sequence of events that they did, so maybe they will do it in the future. Omaha man paints his house in rainbow colors after neighbor said derogatory words to him about gay man that didn't sit well. I love the house. I love to set him. We gotta talk about grammar and like structuring your sentences, because it sounds like a gay man couldn't sit down right. This is the only way to respond to this kind of crap. This is why pride is so loud. Not everybody wears pride colors. It's just like, yeah, no, me. They're like, hey, I'm wearing it for the people that still get hated on for no darn reason, because other people are arrogant enough to think that they have a say over other people's lives. Bus drivers in Japan went on strike. I heard about this by continuing to drive their route while refusing to take fares from passengers, keeping Japan on time, but costing the bus companies. Yeah, I saw this before. Absolutely love it. I wish that's how more strikes works. It's just like, no, we'll keep doing our jobs, but you won't make any money. Man gets cancer on cancerous growth, killing the growth and ending his cancer. Task failed successfully. Kind of terrifying to get another form of cancer that's like worse than the first one, enough to kill it. My mom has a friend who has a failed program service dog, and he's literally my favorite creature. He's a really smart lad. He learns all the commands, but he just has an affinity for doing them whenever he wants. So this lady's dog literally turns on and off lights, opens doors, opens the fridge, etc., all at his own wishes. Her home looks like it's baby-proofed, with kid-safe locks on everything and stuff. But really, she just has a dog that's learned all of the mobility service dog commands, but has a mind of his own. I'm being helpful, right? Would you like this cupboard open? What about this light on? Am I being helpful? Client did not pay? Add opacity to the body tag and decrease it every day until their sight completely fades away. 15 years ago, 5 friends and I drunkenly painted a crosswalk on a dangerous street in our college town. Shockingly, people actually used it, and the city installed a legitimate crosswalk there soon after. Now it's in a national publication. The keys for Gorilla Crosswalks. Somebody has to bike everywhere. I fully support this. Neighbor kept letting his dog crap in my yard. Not cool. Clean it up, please. That's very nice and wholesome. Sorry. Swept through the yard just in case. We are leashing our dogs to prevent this. Aw. Also got you a new pencil. Thanks for your patience. Aw. Oh my god, it's like an actual good neighbors interaction. Coming from Florida with HOAs and stuff like this is fantastic. Nobody got fined. No old guy thought he owned your property. It was great. Never forget that Ford was 100% ready to fricking shoot a man just so Mabel could keep her pet pig. I love Gravity Falls so much. I don't know who needs to hear this, but photo enforcement cameras hold 5.5 pounds of copper. I also strongly advise against aiming a laser at them or any kind of construction foam or foaming wasp spray. All of these are very bad things. You should leave those cameras alone. 5.5 pounds of copper is about $20. Spot price, but hey, one person's treasure, another person's cover. The artist holding valuable art hostage to protect Julian. I can't say his last name. Using a 32-ton Swiss bank safe, Andrei Malolkin says he will destroy works by Picasso, Rembrandt, Warhol if the WikiLeaks founder dies in prison. Yes, good, excellent. I had to go and actually look this up again because I'd kind of forgotten what had happened. In general, the best way to not have embarrassing leaks come out about you is to not do shady stuff. Pro tip: conservation group buys out hunting rights in BC's Great Bear Rainforest to protect wildlife. The tender covers a quarter of the Great Bear Rainforest. That's fantastic. Yeah, we have a lot of hunting here, but it's not bear, to my knowledge. It's like deer, because if we didn't, oh my god, this place would be overrun. Anonymous love note on my neighbor's mat this morning. Dear neighbor, I want to drop this the morning.
Whenever a groundbreaking technology is discovered, our first instinct is to see how far it can go and how it can serve the world to its maximum potential. Of course, the internet was certainly no exception. The technological feat of getting computers on other sides of the world to instantly communicate with one another was revolutionary on its own. However, the online infrastructure of the 1990s focused on primitive means of communication, primarily just getting images and text to appear on a screen. It was suitable for its time, but quite limiting. The technology wasn't exactly there yet, but we knew things could go even further. Well, in 1996, the solution to this problem would appear in the form of a product that we know today as Flash Player, or later on as Adobe Flash Player. You just download it to your computer, free of charge, and you can now see the internet as it was truly meant to be seen. Interactive websites, video games, in an abstract way, the World Wide Web just got so much more three-dimensional. Naturally, Flash Player became the standard for web browsing over the next decade, and for reasons we will explore in this video, met its timely death in 2020. But not only do I find the rise and fall of this beloved program interesting, but also the legacy it has left behind, or lack thereof. You see, the discontinuation of Flash has left a lot of old websites and online games completely dead. Yes, there are now Flash alternatives that have come in to pick up the pieces, but they're exactly that, just pieces. They still do run into many problems and often struggle to operate in the same way, and having this media move over to its successor, HTML5, just isn't that easy, and often requires rewriting a lot of resources. As a result, many Flash games and projects have now become lost media. A personal example example of mine was Coraline.com. Back when the movie was first released in 2009, the Coraline website was a fully interactive other world full of games, scavenger hunts, even a photo editor where you could add buttons to your eyes. Sadly, its snapshots on the Wayback Machine are just not enough for the game to be perfectly emulated, and therefore, only the homepage exists. It is now lost. The reasons for this are technological as well as cultural. It's also that the internet collectively just doesn't really care for Flash media anymore, and you could argue that this transition is indicative of a new attitude the internet has developed. We've almost come full circle in that websites are returning to more static environments that prioritize communication over aesthetics, but it's also indirectly at the expense of preserving an entire era of online history. Because there is such a huge barrier to entry for Flash media to continue existing in the modern world, we are often unable to properly observe it in retrospect. It almost feels like a digital burning of a library, and I don't think it needs to be that way. So what is the story of Flash Player, and how can we keep it frozen in time rather than lost to it? We first have to understand what Flash Player's role was in the development of the internet. The internet as a whole is a very basic concept. It is a large number of computers that are all connected together so that they can, of course, all communicate to each other. But you must express this communication in a way humans can understand. Just like how the telegraph turned arbitrary pulses of electricity into Morse code, computers on a network do the same thing, but with binary. But the average Joe is not going to understand how to read binary or complicated computer code. Instead, this information should be expressed in a way that is clean, straightforward, and pretty to look at. So a man named Tim Berners-Lee creates something called the World Wide Web in 1990, and now these electrical signals can be expressed through a language called the Hypertext Markup Language, or HTML for short. Now text, hyperlinks, and even images are what you see when you go online. The internet just got so much more inclusive, and you see its popularity explode throughout the decade. As computer technology got better over the years, the demand for more internet functionality increased. Like sure, AOL.com does look all snazzy and colorful, and it's got all the buttons you need, but it feels a bit stiff, for lack of a better term. Perhaps if we could introduce some fluidity into the page, but aside from some cool-looking animations, HTML just wasn't advanced enough yet. The only way to create a website that was truly interactive, dynamic, was to create one that had an intimate connection with the computer's hardware, much like a computer program. But having one program for AOL, one for Yahoo, and another for Ask Jeeves all on your computer at once is a pain in the neck. Not to mention it would take up hard drive space. Instead, what if you only installed one program that acted as a browser extension that automatically supported all these websites and the unique environment and configurations that they each had? And so, on January 1st, 1996, what we recognize today as Flash Player was released, specifically designed to answer this question. It was originally called Future Splash Player and was owned by FutureWave Software. Macromedia would acquire the product and rename it to, well, Flash Player. But the premise of the program was overall the same. As long as you had this program on your computer, you could now see and use the internet in a whole new way. Websites featured cool sound effects, sophisticated animations you could directly interact with, and even video support. Not only that, it supported multiple operating systems, and it was free. Thanks to Flash Player, it now felt like the only limitation to the internet was just the screen.
Hi kids, it's me, Steven. Have you seen any packages? Apparently I have something special coming in the mail today. You have? Oh boy, well come on in. What has more letters than the alphabet? A post office. That's pretty funny, Mailbox.
You got mail.
Gee whiz, thanks Mailbox. Wonder what it is. We just got a letter. 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 I wonder who it's from. Payne and Prescott, LLP from Oxnard. Sounds professional. Dear Steven, if you are reading this, that means I've already packed my stuff and left. My attorney is writing to you on my behalf. If only you spent less time golfing and visiting your sister in Scottsdale and more time being a good husband. Don't even know. Don't worry, kids. This is a playful joke that Jennifer and I like to play instead of hearing date on the bottom. Oh, she's divorcing me. Cool. I feel like a idiot. Why is this even here? This is a studio set. It's not a real mailbox. Maybe it was just some sort of
I've actually got more mail for you, Steven.
Oh, really, Mailbox? I noticed there was no joke this time, Mailbox. Is this the best autograph from Liverpool and got lost in transit for a second time? How much was that? 100 pounds? Am I the joke? Is that the joke, Mailbox? Because if it is, look at me! So funny! It's actually so much better. It's Bombas, today's sponsor. Sock season is upon us, and Bombas provides amazing socks. Slip at them. These socks. Free version and people. President Ray's credit card and find those magical 16 numbers on the front. You can cut. By visiting bombas.com/nationsquid or using NationsQuid at checkout, new customers will get 20% off their purchase. Thank you to Bombas for sponsoring this video.
So how does the program work? It's remarkably simple. A website would host something called a SWF file. This was a small file that contained graphics, animations, and any type of supported media, accompanied with instructions for the computer on how to show them. When a user visited this website, Flash Player would take this SWF file, read these instructions, and then show all these elements on the screen as it was intended. It essentially acted as an add-on to HTML to enhance the online experience. What was revolutionary was the fact that these SWF files were so small. This is because Flash Player primarily used vector graphics, which are images made up of colors and shapes, rather than bitmap ones, which are made up of predefined pixels. Vectors have the advantage of not losing quality when they're upscaled, and they also take up less data than bitmap images do. Given that internet bandwidth in the 90s was very limited, this was a huge benefit for Flash Player and made using it so easy. So Flash Player became super popular and basically dominated the internet over the next decade. Newgrounds, Poptropica, Club Penguin, iCarly, Total Jerkface, and even YouTube were all entirely Flash dependent, and included things like Easter eggs and even full-on video games. With Flash, you could create pretty much anything you wanted, and it could be argued that its presence was what created the very apparent customizability culture that existed in the 2000s and extended out into other forms like CSS MySpace pages and YouTube channels. It was your whole entire personality on a web page. You could truly be you. do. But there was one big issue with all of this: security. For Flash Player to really have the versatility that it did, it also needed to have a lot of privileged access to your computer's system. After all, for Flash Player to operate to the best of its ability, it would first need to know what kind of hardware you're using and what kind of system configurations you have put in place, much like a computer program would. But you know what else behaves this way? Malware. While Flash Player has good intentions with what it does to deep parts of your system, nefarious users don't. Malware developers were soon discovering all kinds of exploits within the Flash program. And well, when you have the vast majority of internet users with this program on their computer, it is a recipe for disaster. Now you're probably wondering why they would design a program this haphazardly. Well, the answer, surprisingly, is that it was the 90s and people just didn't care that much about security. The creators of Flash just wanted a product out as soon as possible, before any possible competition could come in. It was almost like an arms race. They wanted something that could effectively work as it was intended to, and they took any means necessary to make that happen. And that included granting the program elevated privileges within the computer. It just wasn't designed with safety in mind, but it was suitable for the time. But as computer viruses started becoming very common throughout the 90s and 2000s, many of which even involved finding exploits within Flash, people became more aware of this issue. So naturally, Flash started becoming one of those programs that you have to update like 3 times a week, and that got annoying. But because it was still, by far, the most capable thing of its time, it was a risk people were willing to take. Heck, in 2005, Adobe purchased Flash Player from Macromedia, and so it then became Adobe Flash Player. It was still very much popular and even omnipresent within the online space. In fact, you couldn't even use YouTube without it. Humanity has taught us that people don't really care about the risk of Trojan horses until one shows up on their computer. And this kind of devil-may-care mindset would ultimately catch up to them. Steve Jobs, in particular, despised Adobe Flash Player, and that alone essentially marked the beginning of the end for the program. You see, in 2007, a little thing called the iPhone was invented, and Jobs made sure that Flash Player didn't touch iOS with a 10-foot pole. In fact, he even wrote an open letter about his disdain for the product, which garnered a lot of controversy. One criticism he made was that Adobe Flash Player was proprietary, meaning that the quality of the product, all the patches and updates, were all fully in control by Adobe. They were the ones who called the shots at the end of the day. So the question was, why is pretty much the entirety of the internet being controlled by only one company? And according to Jobs, they weren't even doing a very good job at it, as the software company Symantec listed Flash as having one of the worst security records of 2009. Although Flash Player was free, the tools for creating these Flash projects were not, which Adobe continued to provide as part of their own ecosystem even after acquiring it from Macromedia. So the prevalent argument at that time was, does Adobe truly have the best interests of the internet in mind? Or did they just want to make more money? Jobs also said that Flash was not touch-friendly. It was designed at a time where you could only click and drag with a mouse. Adobe started working on a smartphone-friendly version of the program, but it just never really took off at all. Jobs also cited Flash Player as being very draining on the iPhone's battery, among a bunch of other things. Instead, iPhone, iPads, and iPods used a newer video codec called H.264, and with all these websites having free app equivalents to them, mobile users were able to survive just fine without Flash Player. Jobs' letter was very controversial and led to a lot of drama between Adobe and Apple. Over the next decade, mobile devices and tablets would explode in popularity, even surpassing desktop and laptop PCs in terms of market share. So of course, the demand for Flash Player was dwindling. And then came the final nail in the coffin. Since the vulnerability issue with Flash Player wasn't exactly improving, even with all the continuous updates, all the world's leading tech companies decided to get together. They basically formed a committee that was going to create a technology for the internet that was even more capable than Flash Player and specifically had security in mind. This would be a markup language known as HTML5. It supported video, graphics, just about everything Flash could already do, but this time it was actually part of your web browser rather than being a third-party program installed on your computer. It was safer, faster, and even used less power. It also wasn't controlled by only one company. Instead, this committee, pretty much democratically, would vote on decisions that should or shouldn't be made for the language. Over time, websites started to ditch Adobe Flash Player in favor of HTML5. It was a rather slow death, but Flash Player would then lose all support and be shut down permanently on December 31st, 2020. But unfortunately, just switching over to HTML5 from Flash isn't as easy as it sounds and is very case by case. So a lot of these websites died with it. Sure, there are emulators such as Ruffle that work pretty well, but it isn't perfect. Flash Player was proprietary after all. It's not going to get everything to work, and it often doesn't. Heck, there is even a website that hosts a download for the last version of Adobe Flash Player that you can install on your PC. But since this is now unsupported software, this isn't exactly safe, and unfortunately, you often still run into the same problem of just not getting these old web games to load. But if you dig deep enough into the page source of the website and download the SWF file from there and try running it directly from your computer, whether through Ruffle or this copy of Flash Player, that theoretically can work. But again, sometimes it just doesn't, and there could be a million reasons. The most prominent one that I've noticed is that archive sites such as the Wayback Machine doesn't always save everything. To go back to the Coreline.com example, it appears that the Wayback Machine has only saved certain snippets of this app. I can view the homepage just fine, exactly how it looked when I first saw it back in 2009, but I can't go beyond that. And the one Flash file that I did find didn't do anything when I tried to load it. Keep in mind, many Flash games used multiple SWF files, so if the archive didn't catch all of those, then the game is sadly gone forever. It is lost media. This is a technological issue as well as a preservation issue. The average person is not going to know how to go into the page source of a website and download the Flash files and manually load them on their computer. It's a bit much. So now you have this barrier to entry for the majority of online users who want to access old Flash games and websites for research or historical purposes. And like we said, the demand for keeping these sites around has gone down. Who is going to spend hours playing a Flash game for a cult movie from 2009? Well, except me, but a lot of people aren't. With the rise of HTML5, mobile devices, and flat design, we are seeing the internet return to the minimalism approach, focusing less on aesthetics and more on just directly communicating what it's trying to say. And one of the consequences of that is these old Flash games not being archived properly. And truthfully, that kind of rubs me the wrong way. It kind of feels like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. If you find out that the art museum has asbestos in the walls, well, you move those paintings into a new building that doesn't have asbestos. You don't just burn the whole art museum down. And I feel like we did that, just a little bit. Of course, Flash Player is a security risk, but I feel like we could have figured out some way to safely preserve these relics of the past, rather than just immediately flipping the switch off. That could be through reverse engineering certain Flash games that may not switch over to HTML5 as easily, and finding the reasons for why and resolving them, or even through creating whole communities dedicated to finding and saving these games before they were lost entirely. Perhaps it's not too late, and we just have to keep looking, and we could at least save what we
Hello. Hello. Can you please unmute? Thanks. Wait, what did you say?
I'm muting because I have background sounds, and I don't want you to hear that.
Wait, what's that?
You're starting the live stream on YouTube.
Yep, and
You're live.
I am live! I just making sure.
Good.
Yep, we're live.
Good. Okay. Okay. Swan. The what? PC
Hello.
man.
What is up, my dudes?
Yeah.
Good.
Hello.
Are you two ready?
I'm watching this stream. Yay. How many people are watching on me?
It doesn't say anyone's Ooh, concurrent viewers just went up to 1.
So, stream. Where is the stream?
I am live. I am the one watching this. Yay.
The stream.
Just run.
Okay. Yo, none of it.
Let's see if I can somehow put this on one side of the screen, like pin this to my screen while Game Maker's open.
I'm currently playing your Game Maker game.
So
Of course, it's the only one that I have. It is like not the one though.
Okay, I'm just gonna mute the live stream
once
because
upon
it's
a time,
Once upon a time.
extremely bored game. Let's see if it tells me that it's live. Let's see if it tells me that it's live. Let's see if it tells me that it's live. Okay, that's an echo. Let's see if it tells me that that
It's an echo?
it's live.
There's an echo?
I joined my own stream, causing it to loop forever. Anyway, it's 6:01, so hello everyone! Welcome to our stream.
Wait, where's the stream? Yeah? Okay, give me a minute. What?
What does the stream look like right now?
Yeah. Yo, quick question. Where is the stream? Shut up. Alright, where's the stream?
Yeah.
Yo, quick question.
Yeah.
Where is the stream? Shut up. Alright, where's the YouTube?
Yeah.
Alright, Swan Pikiman? Swan Pikiman?
It's accidentally called Swan Pikiman live stream instead of, well, what it's supposed to be called. Let's see.
You're starting the coding
Let's just say that
session?
we
Pokemon.
like pretend that nothing happened and just pretend we're starting the stream from zero. At the time where it,
Just
when
just
it
tell me
strikes
if
five, like 6:05.
tell me if you hear anything.
Can you send it to me on,
Save. Anyway, copy. Control V. Set it in the Discord. And actually, I forgot something I should be doing.
what? Once
What
a
is this?
bone, a time. Hello, everyone!
Well, hello everyone. So, welcome to the first ever stream
How are you doing?
of the Once Upon a Time dev team. My name is
The stream with the
Juan Pigman.
nerds code.
Who is this? Amir Frankel. Who is this?
Hello. Hello.
Who is this guy?
Who?
Everybody say hi to my brother Ariel.
Yeah, he's also an important dev.
Everybody say hello. Look. Why
Hello,
is this thing
brother.
on? Why is this going on?
Wait, let's see.
Oh god, this is chaos.
So yeah, let's just pretend none of this has happened, and I'll just
Yeah.
look at how I make the stream
Let's
better next
let's
time.
just start.
And just
Let's
say,
just start the.
okay.
Let's just start the whole debug.
Okay, so we are Extremely Board Games, future creators of the hit video game Once Upon a
Hello?
Time. My name is Swan Pikiman, and I'm the main coder, together with the fact that I play the recorder. I guess that's part of my resume now. And
Hello?
and on with me are
Yes.
Johnny. Yeah, that's not his real name.
Johnny? Wait. Did you call me
Johnny?
John?
Who's Johnny? Who's Johnny? Who's Johnny? Who's
Okay, I
Johnny?
improvised this
My name
fake
is not Johnny. Do not call me Johnny. My name is Jonathan.
What's the point of me trying to keep your secrecy If you're just going to
This-
trade... Oh yeah, I forgot it's probably
Stop
no
acting-
point in being secret.
Who cares? Fine. My name isn't Jonathan. It's Jonathan. Don't call me Johnny. The one thing I will not tolerate is Johnny. Or
Okay,
Yoni. Also, this
so,
is my brother Ari.
I'll give you guys a quick tour of, like, you guys I'm saying, even though, like, whoever's here
Ye-
already knows it, of the game so far.
What?
So, let's run it.
Alright, what
Click. Okay, so you move around.
were we saying? What were we talking about?
I'm pretending there are people online right now and we're explaining to them all the basic stuff. So yeah, Johnny's like our VA and other things. We're all basically doing everything.
There's someone online. It's called Amanda Frenkel.
Okay, good.
Hey, two watchers. Yay.
Hello, Aminadav
Yeah.
Frankel, and welcome to the stream.
So,
Two watchers.
So you move around with the arrows and add this snazzy little stock sound whenever you move around. Also on the stream is...
I don't think that it's on that. Yeah, it's got weight now. It's got.
Also, when you leave the room,
Oh, get back to the battle, soldier. Good sound. Anyway, I shall be leaving the stream due to the fact that this is way too chaotic.
so I guess Johnny left. / Jonathan.
What? Why he left? What's wrong? What's wrong?
It was too chaotic for him.
Why?
I don't know. Wait, who else is online now?
Yeah, one watcher.
Let's see, I'm
Which is
opening
me.
OBS. Let's see, there's...
One watcher. It's only me. I want to be watching me. Watching me. Talking to you.
Yeah.
Rolling. Your. Oh,
Anyway, this is pretty unprofessional. So, our team consists of me, Swan Pokemon, our project leader who wanted his name undisclosed for now, so his name shall be undisclosed for now. And some other guys, and actually the stream is really unprofessional, which pretty bad. Sorry for this, guys. Yeah,
Get back to the battle, soldier.
get back to the battle, soldier, indeed. So now we walk into the pond, and it goes to the next room. Now this is battle mode.
Battle mode. Yeah.
During battle mode, you click the pawn in order to move it, and this corkscrew guy moves. Now, I don't need to explain how the corkscrew piece moves, right? Everyone knows that it always moves one step down because I was too lazy to code anything more complex. And I'm the creator of chess, apparently. So, yeah.
Okay, and just I have to mute for a sec. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, win? Lose? I haven't coded the difference yet. So yeah, I should probably delete this footage because it contains some information which is...
What footage?
Mm, let's see. So today, we're going to take this little prototype here, which ends without me even have coded the difference between victory and loss. Yes, haha, very funny. There's a comic named Loss. I know. Comedic genius here.
Yes.
So, we're going to code it into an actual demo. So the first step into doing that is for all y'all to understand my code. Okay, so I see that a gaming AYT is asking me to play Bloons TD Live. Now, a gaming AYT, just so you know, it's pronounced Bloons without the A and without one of the L's. Second of all, this is a coding stream, so...
Respond.
Let's see. So let's first finish the coding and then I'll see. How it would work. Let's see, I'm going back into the stream. Here you can see all the stuff I watch. Why am I allowing you to do this? YouTube Studio. Okay, we're back. And a few minutes ago was a record amount of 4 viewers. So thank you to all 4 of you. So yeah. I think the way that is so, I have the following objects. Attack Protopon. The way that it works is that it starts with this little guy, Protopon. He can move around. You know, he has functions for key press up, right, left, down, and uses the Pawn Gray Sprite. Then there's Protopon Battle. He's the version of Protopon when he's fighting. Protopon Wait. Pretend Pawn Battle, which I thought of using, but I can't anymore. Potential Protopon Battle, and Canceller Protopon Battle, and also Attack Protopon Battle. Now this is a basic enemy. I have 3 rooms in this code, 4 sounds including this masterpiece. Wait a minute. Well, what's wrong with this game? With this, I don't know. But the other sounds include peace move, corkscrew move, and get back to the battle, soldier. Just realized I forgot something. So, I'm going to chat a bit while thinking. And actually, I'm not gonna think, because that would drive my viewers away. And I don't want to drive you away, do I? Pop out chat. And I'm going back to Game Maker and pop out this chat, which I'm going to shrink a bit and leave out. So welcome Bololi Shaming to the group, to the chat. Glad you could make it. So let's see. I'm going to code it so that there are 2 final screens. So let me duplicate that, call it win, and call this one lose. Now in lose, I'm going to create a new sprite or 2. Create sprite. And I'm going to call it, and I'm going to change it to 768 on itself. I'm going to edit the image and write win. Actually, that's a bit too big, so I'm just gonna text win. Now I'm just gonna go polygon and go bump, 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 bump. Then I'm going to add another frame. In this frame, I'm going to make a bump, 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 bump. So it says way. I'm going to add another frame. In this frame, I'm going to go bump, 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 bump. And now it says win. Because guess what? If you see that screen, that means you win. But now I'm going to destroy this abomination I have made. I'm going to go like bump, 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 bump. Here, and then I'm going to go another polygon and go bump, 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 bump. And now we got the word win as a sprite. Now I name it windscreen. Then I create another sprite, which I call lose screen. And lose screen here is going to appear whenever, you know, you lose. So now I use the shapes again, and I write wait, gotta check on those comments. None yet. People are really starting to pick up on the viewing stuff. And then I do a little circle. And go doop, doop. Now I go whoop. Delete all those hoops and then go whoop, whoop. Then I spray with this. Then I go on to this. And now I go here and create the final letter. I'm going to refer to another meme now. E. Here. Another meme. Now this brilliantly crafted sprite will show whenever you lose. Actually, I need to bucket it with a bit of darker colors. And now let's see. The room win will now have their backgrounds won. No, sorry. Their background replaced with the sprite win screen. While lose will have its background replaced with the its background replaced with the lose screen. Gotta check on the chat. And now let's see. Now I take bottle opener. Oh, hi, Mom. Okay, but right now I'm live, so... But right now I'm live. Yeah, that was my mom. Yeah, it's a good live so far. Team member. I go to not this bottle opener. Why did I go to this bottle opener? I go to object bottle opener. Like the enemy. I tell it that when colliding with Protopon, if the turn is equal to 0, then go to room lose. Let's see if this works like that. Go to next room. I got mixed up in where I'm supposed to code it. I'm supposed to code in Protopon wait. Now I say that if collide with enemy, instead of going to the next room, just say that if variable global dot turn equal to 0, which means if it's your turn, go to room lose, else go to room win. Let's see if it works, or if I need to swap them around. Okay, so I need to switch them around. Now, I'm trying to remember. Once you move, it already changes turn. So at that point, it's turn. I need to test something. So now I go to the battle room. Go to instances. Move the pawn here. Now, if my calculations are correct, okay, I screwed up somewhere because that was not a winning position. Let's see, it's turn. Oh, at every point it's turn. The solution is to do something complex. First, chat check. Okay. Chat check complete. Chat is good. I'm so glad I have this function so that people can ask me to play balloons. Now, I have no idea who this is, but seems to be someone interested in coding. Good for them. The current amount of viewers, though, there's a single guy. Just a guy up there watching my stream. So, whoever you are, Mr. Guy, I hope I can entertain. Anyway. Let's see if I can code well. I go to Pro. Do I make like an attack phase? Ooh, I know. Object. Do I make it so then? Delete that. For now, I'll keep it that it deletes instantly. So, attack. Sprite. Actually, I'm gonna give it its own custom sprite, so. I duplicate this sprite and name it. No. Now make the original attack sprite I get an image, give it this gray, and fill it all in. Now I change I rename this attack pawn. Check the chat. Oh! Hello, Amit. I don't know who Amit is. It must be a kid in my class. I told my class about the stream today. Dude, this is why I have to check the stream constantly. I might miss stuff like that. Now, I'm sorry if you go on the stream and I don't see you. To everyone who went on the stream and I don't see them. So let's see. I need to be better about that, by the way. Like, much better. So I select the sprite to be attack. And I select attack protocol battle sprite to be holo attack. So now I go to this, create, and I tell it to do two things. First of all, create instance of a protopan weight in itself, then an event collision with an enemy, then you move to win. Go to room, win. And I make attack protopan battle. Instead of creating protopan weight, it creates attack pawn. And for protopan weight, say that upon contact with an enemy at all, upon contact with an enemy at all, delete all that, and just go to room, lose. Sorry, but you lose. Now let's see if it works. Now that failed, and I know a way to fix it, actually. It's a two-step plan. I changed this event to be when alarm arbitrary number 3 comes up, and now I mean that upon creation, Anipo. So yeah. How do I get to the... כן? נראה לי שהיא הלכה. נראה לי שהיא הלכה. כן. לפי מה שאני שומע, לחדר שלה. Anyway. How do I fix this? I should be a programmer, therefore I should know what to do. But I don't know what to do, because I'm a shitty programmer. Again. I was said, so now I see that when you create, then you set alarm 3 to one frame. Yes, a single frame. Now this should help the bug. Also had a cool visual. Now you can win and lose, meaning that we're ready. Okay. Yep. Alright, hi a lot. Good eye. Do you get where I was going with that? The answer is drugs. Anyway. Time's almost up, so now let's see if we can create an opening cutscene. So I know what to do. I go to some Google and do a resource of voice to MP3. Welcome to Once Upon a Time. Unfortunately, in this demo version, there is no opening cutscene, and we are going to thrust you right into the game. Good luck! Anyway, let's create a new room. New room. Of course I want a room. Cutscene. Yeah. Forgot to mention, this is working on a demo. So now cutscene's the head of this group. And in cutscene, there is only one thing, and it's a sound. Create a new sound in the sound folder. And call it cutscene audio. I accidentally called it cutscene audio. But no one's gonna notice that in the final game, you know, this... Okay, I guess I gotta add an object to play it. Let's call this object voice. Give it no sprite and add event. Create. And when you create, sounds cutscene stuff. And also say that whenever you step, if cutscene is not playing, then go to the next room. Oh yeah, I forgot to import the object into the cutscene room. Silly me. Teehee. Instances. Add voice to it. And now let's see how it works. Welcome to Once Upon a Time. Unfortunately, in this demo version, there is no opening cutscene, and we are going to thrust you right into the game. Good luck! I whipped it up in like 5 minutes! Gotta make sure that the place is nice and square, though, so... to go into cutscene, make it 768 on 768. Welcome to Once Upon a Time. Unfortunately, in this demo version, there is no opening cutscene, and we are going to thrust you right into the game. Good luck! It's working! I forgot to check on this for some time. Nothing. Cool. I win. So I think we'll end the stream 10 minutes early. Anyway.